Yo! I love doing that. Welcome to the second episode of YinzCenter, recording from the local podcast studio in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. And we're going to break down the future of the show here. I know you guys are all excited to see what's next. What's happening after the first episode where these
where
guys
do you guys
just
go
talked.
from here?
Yeah, so with me, as always, is my brother.
Hello, hello.
Brother from the same mother. All right, so anyway, what we are going to get into in YinzCenter for the foreseeable future, we'll start off, we're going to break it down real quick with, it's going to be right now focused on what's on our minds mostly, because, I mean, we're not experts in anything like in the actual fields of, even like going out and reporting on anything at this point. I work at a car dealership at Kenny Ross Ford, and my brother,
Just training right now.
he is a professional athlete at that. That is his profession, and I guess podcaster now.
Yeah, might as well throw that in there too.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, professional podcaster.
Make it sound a little bit better too.
Yeah. So you
Athlete
have
and
some aspirations.
podcaster.
It sounds like, yeah. So we're gonna give you like a kind of step by step of Nevin's journey, and trying to whether or not he's gonna make this team for the national teams. I mean, as Dan said last week, we have quite a few different. There's a few different years that he can make this team coming up, and making it year one gives you a good bit better of a shot to do it and get right up in there. But ultimately, I think what would be cool, it'd be if we ultimately got some content in Milan, Italy.
Yeah, exactly. So, like you said, that's the end goal. The first goal. So, I don't feel like I'm in good enough shape at the moment to go and make the team in a month or something like that at the tryouts. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this year off, get in the best possible shape, and try to make next year's team, and then the team for Milan as well.
Yeah, and that's it's a pretty good way to kind of do it, because maybe playing the game all the time. I mean, you got that IQ and whatever, but I think that next level to take you to like that Tom Brady type of freak athlete type of thing. I mean that's what kind of is it's necessary to be on a national
Exactly.
team. It is.
You have to be, like you said, just kind of
the best of the
freak.
best.
Yeah. It doesn't. It's more of a mindset than it is like actually working. But you're not going to get there without the work either. You know what I mean? So if you have it in your mind, like, well, I might be able to do this, I guess I can get my body to try to do it. But if you already have it in your head that, okay, this is what I'm doing, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm going to do.
And I think the
9
best
times
part
out of 10, you're going to achieve that.
The best part about trying to mix the professional athlete life with potentially professional podcaster life would be that you're going to be openly putting yourself on blast for just about everybody to go ahead and say what they please. I mean, please don't bully him to a certain extent. Don't tell him to kill himself or something like that. He's not suicidal, Miss Clinton.
Okay. But no, you were saying
just to make it clear.
Just holding me accountable. That's like we were talking, and I told you after last week's episode, one of my teammates, Alex, had texted me and told me that he said he was going to do, he and everybody on our team would do whatever it takes to help me get here. And if they see me slacking in any way, they'd hold me accountable and, not let me slack off, because he knows, and they all know, that this is something that I've wanted for
your whole life.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Your whole life.
At least the last 20 years, we'll call it.
Yeah.
Roundabout.
And I think you realize now too, like now that you're getting a little bit older, 27, 28 now, right? Almost 27 at the moment.
Yep. Yeah. By then, so
I mean, you just kind of realize though, you start getting this age, man. Like
these
opportunities, they don't come around. They like you think they are whenever you're making teams at a young age.
So I started my first camp. They're called U.S. National Development Camp, and it's a program where you're invited by USA Hockey for strictly sled hockey camp. And it's a camp where you learn the game, obviously, but you're also there to try to compete to make the U.S. national development team, which I was on from 2010 to 2016.
That was back when it was basically a U20 team, essentially, right?
Actually, no. So last week, Dan was talking about whenever he was on the team, that's whenever that was considered the U20 team. Whenever I made it, the first year I made it, a lot of our guys were around the same age. Like, I was probably 14, so we were probably like from 14 to 20 was our general age, but we definitely had guys that were like 28 at the time, and a couple of guys in their 30s. So, I mean, we had everything you could think of.
Yeah, you had to field a competitive team more so than worrying about an age range. Yeah,
exactly.
I just remember at one point it was like that. But
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like he said, listeners are already holding him accountable. So please continue to do so.
Absolutely.
I mean, we can't do it. I mean, we can maybe do. We're gonna find out if we can do it. Yeah, we're gonna learn all together here.
Absolutely.
So that's cool, and that's going to be the main kind of breakdown at this point, because that's pretty much the number one story in our lives, and that's what we're going to kind of keep on rolling on. But otherwise, I mean, for the rest of the show, we're going to kind of break down a little bit of some things we enjoy discussing and what we pretty much have in a text chain on a daily basis here. It's
more or less.
We get break into some good old hockey talk, some Penguins talk. Pretty much whatever else is on our mind too. Because I like to get into some football stuff, and I think eventually down the line, as we start maybe getting some more listeners and some more people interested, and kind of getting the message spread, and maybe even making a team or something might help. We can maybe even share the love a little bit, and maybe see if we can try and return the favor to some of these local athletes around here too, whether they're former or current or professional, collegiate, high school.
Yeah, If you're one of the local high schools around Greensburg, and you want to come on and talk about what sports has meant to you so far, where you think you can go with it, and where you think you can just go in life in general, reach out. Let us know. We'd be happy to have you on.
Yeah, we will. It's a good. Well, in the meantime, I think, especially now we're in the dead of summer, we're a great time to start a bro podcast, right? Like in the dead of summer, whenever we primarily talk about sports as a family, more often
the sports
than not.
We pretty much talk about are later sports, winter sports, basically.
We're in the dog days now. Even the Pirates don't care. They've lost 9 in a row, so that's
you know more about them than I do. So
that is baseball talk. They've lost a lot in a row. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I forgot that. I turned the button down. Anyways, that was going to be a sound effect, but now you get anything else. Excellent. There we go.
You did the thing.
Yes. So anyways, if you want to buy a car, you need a car?
No, I do not.
You sure?
But yes, I'm sure. I do
sure?
not. Even if I needed a car, I don't want a car right now.
Okay, because I mean, I've heard that Kenny Ross Ford has their biggest sale in history. There's 60-year history going on.
Tell me about it.
Are you sure? Are you sure you want to hear about it? You didn't want to buy a car.
Listen, even if I don't,
think the people might need to hear
about it. The people need to hear about it.
Yeah, people need to hear about it. Anyways, we got the biggest sales event in the history, Kenny Ross Ford going on. My boy Richard Crumlish, the general manager up there, he's got the biggest sale in history going on. They got some 0%, like rates as low as 0% even, which was shocking for me to see in this vehicle climate. They're able to get anywhere remotely close to that, and I'll be glad to set up your appointment, and I'm shocked, and that is going on to June 30th. The year is 2023. What's today? The 22nd? Yeah, the 22nd. Yeah, June 22nd. I'm recording this, and sale rolls on to June 30th, 23 out here. So biggest sale in history, Kenny Ross Ford. Stop on out. I'll book your appointment, and maybe if you even need your oil change too. Now, if you need an oil change. because I can book service appointments now too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There you go.
Number 724-359-4501. That's my direct line, and I usually only answer it when I'm in the office. That number again, though, 724-359-4501. I'm pretty responsive when I'm there. Otherwise, I'm doing stuff like this. So anyways, want to do some hockey talk?
Let's do it.
So the Pens, you said Kyle Dubas should hire us last week. That's what I said. And, well, for those that don't know,
Kyle Dubas hire us?
For those that don't know, we were recording last night, and it flopped drastically as nothing quite actually recorded or went to the card for whatever reason.
We're uploading.
Whatever.
It's all good.
Anyways, yeah, so Kyle Dubas, I think it's kind of just looking at that Penguin landscape, though. I don't know if I want to be involved in it anymore because, like, dude, it's rough. So did you see the prospect camp alone? The prospect camp alone, they invited, like, 18 players. And I'm like, aren't these usually at least, like, 30 players? 30-something players, and it's, like, only, like, 2 days long.
What's funny is I saw Sam Poulin's name on there, but I did not see Nathan Legare's name on there.
Well, I mean, both of them are like 23 now.
Well, yeah, but it's just funny to me. Like, why they were both drafted in the exact same draft, but you have one and not the other, then it doesn't make much sense to me.
But, yeah, so, I mean, that's baffling. I mean, and then just the amount of no movement clauses, that's going to be tough to finagle.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the development camp roster here, and the only names that I see that stick out are Sam Poulin and last year's first round pick for us, Owen Pickering, right? He was last year, right?
Yeah, Owen Pickering was a first round pick last year.
But
defenseman, yeah.
Other than that, the prospect cover is bare, my friends.
It is
even
bare.
Goaltending.
Like they might honestly be having open tryouts at that point just to have some bodies. Because, like, how are they going to scrimmage against anybody? They literally can't. Like, 2 lines.
Just go a line on the line. Or
3-on-3 battles.
Yeah, I think that's probably what. Actually, I think that's what it is. I think it's 4-on-4, 3 forwards and a defenseman.
So with that being said, like, and then you got pick 14 this year. I still think you trade it.
Yeah,
like it's the Sid era. You got to go all in because we tried to. I don't know actually what Ron Hextall tried last year. I think
Ron Hextall doesn't know what Ron Hextall
actually
tried last year.
I will say it best how I said it when I was nice and angry at the Oilers game last year that we were at. I was saying that he's basically simulating his real life BGM mode in NHL.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah,
because he wasn't there. He was non-existent. He was usually sleeping.
That's pretty much how I play
it. And then what his big move was to saddle us with quite possibly the worst contract that's like an active player in the NHL right now.
2 of them.
2 of them. 2 of them. I mean, that makes it it almost makes it feel like sabotage.
Yeah, I mean, coming over from the Flyers.
Yeah. And notoriously, like, waving around his angry stick at us. Yeah, he was a jabroni. I'm glad he's gone. And but yeah, like because like even trying to think of like the goalies to go after, it's sparse. And like we were talking about like the free agent goalies in our fake go around yesterday, and I hated it. I hated all of the free agent goalies.
Yeah, Connor Hellebuyck seemed like he's not even a free agent right now.
He's the only one. The only one I even think I want.
But even then, it's like, I mean, yeah, he was on a pretty shitty Winnipeg team.
Like, it's a team that gave up around him, but they also designed their team to literally, like, just allow him to save all the shots.
Oh, Connor Hellebuyck, you're a pretty decent goalie. You're just going to take 60 shots a game.
Yeah, just eat the pucks. Eat them. I mean, it was helpful for my fantasy championship win last year, for sure, because, let's go, boy. But, that's... If we're going to trade 14, and a buddy of mine mentioned today, too, he had a, what was it? It was like Olmark or Swayman and Taylor Hall for 14. I'm like, I don't think Boston does that.
No,
Not
for
if,
number 14.
Yeah, well, not like maybe if we threw Gensel in.
Yeah, but at that point, you're trading for an older Taylor Hall,
who's injury prone, just
and
kind of right
pretty,
back in that 30-plus-year-old injury prone.
Yeah,
blah blah blah.
Which maybe you're trying to get rid of, and Jason Zucker, and you're maybe going to try to move, or not move, but unfortunately eat caps with Jeff Carter, because you're not going to move that guy.
No,
that's just.
And even if he goes,
and he still has 2 years left.
Even if he has a long-term injury that all of a sudden pops up, like I don't think it doesn't give us any relief. If I'm remembering from the contract details correctly, because he signed it when he was over 35. That just throws everything for like a loophole in the NHL. You can find more specifics out on capfriendly.com. I am no cap expert.
No, God, no. That is way too complicated for me. I just play the game.
No, we just spew out ideas that might work. That's where I come in best personally.
I was going to say, that is not.
Because I think, Hellebuck seems like the only answer in that. And I think if you can get him and extend him for like 5 years, I don't know if I'd want to go 8 necessarily.
Yeah, I don't think. Cause
maybe it might. You know what? Fuck it. Go the 8 years. Who cares? We're already going to suck in 7 years anyway.
Do you think it's really going to be that long?
Probably like 5. Well, if Hellebuck's there playing at a potentially elite level, maybe he steals you some games and you build your team around defense instead of offense.
Maybe.
It's going to be a really grim future. Whenever these guys retire,
we're going to go back to the X generation.
Oh, low key, I'm kind of excited to bring back the X generation.
I'm kind of excited.
Weed out all the phony jabronis that came in during the Cup era and bring back the fans that really know pain and had the.
Bring back the likes of Rico Fata, Konstantin Koltsov.
Yeah, because I tried today because I was like, well, did we ever pick at 14 before? And I was looking, and I didn't see anything in our draft history, like ever pick 14.
Nah.
So
I think it's pretty much been 1, or we've moved it.
Yeah, because I think we had 14 in the year we lost to Montreal.
Oh God!
And then we traded that pick for Kasperi Kapanen again. I hated how we just did the bringing back phase. Like my friends and I joked about bringing back people, and then we actually were doing it, and I was like, "Oh no, I think we accidentally created this problem."
What did we do?
What did we do? We were joking. We didn't actually want this. So
then bring Matt Cullen back. He was actually reliable.
I'm pretty sure he's in the organization.
Yeah, I think he's player development. Anyways,
so. You should not bring back Jordan Stahl.
I mean...
No, we don't need to bring him back.
I mean... No.
It's Jeff Carter again. It's the second Jeff Carter. But Stahlsy!
But Stahlsy's playing second line in Carolina right now.
Carolina is so interchangeable with their lines that you have no idea
what I'm saying.
Just Vegas. Yeah. But it's not really defined. Well, I guess they kind of are.
You put him on a third line... Depending on who you insulate them with.
Jeff Carter and Mikhail Granlund. There you go. There's your third line. Now, congratulations. Now, because the league's just going to pin you into that just because it'll be like, haha, they have to suffer through this.
$17 million third line.
Well, do you think that's like other GMs out there, like particularly, like will look at the Penguins and be like, well, you had a bunch of success these last few years, and we kind of want to see you suck. We want more parity. We're going to make you pay more. Maybe. Probably not. I think it's just the cost of business.
Yeah.
Once again, Kyle Dubas should hire us so then we can figure out these answers and not tell the public about them. We'll figure it out though, and then we will inform the public.
You could go and work for the Penguins. I'll keep doing this, and then I can just have an insider.
I don't know. I kind of like doing this.
Just saying, just an idea.
Hey, we'll see. Maybe we'll see.
Or you can just come on here as anonymous.
Yeah, because I mean, Kyle Dubas in the studio anonymously. We'll pretend he's a friend of ours of some type. Hey, Kyle, remember remember punching some holes in the wall with after drinking Monsters back in middle school, bro? We could be friends like that. I'm settled for friends. I don't need an employment position.
I just want to be a multimillionaire's friend.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
And then we can hang out and be bros. Because another reason why is because we have met Sidney Crosby.
This is true.
We have met Sidney Crosby. So
Very true.
Sid, we could all hang out. Me, you, Kyle, Gino, Tanger.
If the rumors are true that the way you get a job in the Penguins organization is to know and have met Sidney Crosby, like you said, we've done that.
Yeah. So how about you tell the tale of how exactly we met Sid? Because that was a lot of brain cells ago for me. And I have, I don't know if it's family genetics already settling in and I'm losing my mind, or if I'm just maybe a little bit dumber than I thought.
Over 3.
Yeah, tell us this tale, man.
So the Penguins sponsor our sled hockey organization, the Mighty Penguins Sled Hockey Organization, and every year they'll host a practice for our organization where we get to go down, watch them skate, practice, and then afterwards we get to go out and practice. So our grandfather.
So what year was this?
This was 2009.
That's right.
This
yes.
was, so
2009 January, right?
January. So
January
they fired,
2009.
They fired Michelle Therrien in February of 2009.
Valentine's Day.
And then everybody, I think, pretty much knows what goes on after that.
Yeah.
I think everybody knows.
You can look at the history books
figure it out
or Wikipedia or something.
So, like I said, they invite us down every year for practices. Our grandfather drove us down, and he didn't really care to drive fast.
He was not what one would call a speed demon.
No. So we were like, okay, we need to be there at 10. We'll tell him we need to be there at 8 or something like that.
Yeah, it was like 8:30.
Yeah. So, and he goes, all right, well, we'll leave at 6 or like something like that. And we're like, all right, because we...
Challenge accepted, Gary.
Yeah.
We're ready. We know you'll be late.
He was not.
Wrong. Wrong.
And also that day, he just apparently decided, I'm going to do more than 5 above
speed.
He decided I'm going to do more than 5 above the speed limit.
He was probably more giddy than us, to be honest.
I'm sure he was.
In hindsight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But so we get down there and everything, and we're super early. So you and him drop me off outside of this little like Zamboni kind of door.
Bye, baby Nevin. Get out of there. Go to the city of Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
good luck.
You're alone in downtown Pittsburgh as like a 10-year-old. So
13.
I'm sitting there
12.
and all of a sudden like this Range Rover pulls up and it's got blacked out everything. And I'm like, okay, well, this is clearly somebody, right? It's clearly a player. The window goes down, and there's those adult moochers, as we like to call them, the guys that just go and get autographs for money to sell on eBay.
Yup.
And then I go up, and I just happen to bring a Sidney Crosby rookie card with me and a Sharpie. So I had him sign the card and everything.
You came prepared.
I did. Listen. To me, this was my one chance to possibly meet Sidney Crosby or anybody of the Pittsburgh Penguins because I was a child and they were my heroes.
Yeah, and our parents made you use your Make-A-Wish on Disney trips.
They didn't make me. I chose that. Because it was over New Year's. It was fucking awesome. Anyways, so we're sitting there, or I'm sitting there, and like I said, Sid signs my card. He pulls into the parking lot or whatever, and then finally I see you and Pop-Up coming up. So we all go in, and I was like, well, I've seen people going in that door down there beside the Zamboni door. So we go, okay, well, let's go down there then. So we go down there, and within 10 seconds of us entering the door, security comes around on a golf cart, and they go, what are you guys doing here? And we said, "Oh, we're pretty early, but we're here. We're supposed to be here to watch the practice with the sled hockey team." And while they're like, "Okay, we'll stay here. We're gonna figure this out." All of a sudden, I hear, "Hey, are you left-handed?" Now, in sled hockey, for those that don't know, you use both hands. So I just go, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Right? Come to find out, Sidney Crosby comes walking around the side of this golf cart with one of his game used, practice used sticks and hands it to me.
Sid the Kid in the flesh.
Literally a kid at this point, because like I said, 2009, so he's
22.
Yeah,
maybe right around there.
I mean, how old was he whenever we won the cup?
About that.
Yeah, so just like, wow. And I didn't really have anything on me at that point. I didn't know what had happened to my Sharpie.
The Sharpie you took was out of your hand?
Yeah. So I guess whenever I went to just back away from Sid's car after getting his autograph, I just was like, fuck it. I don't need a Sharpie anymore. I'm cool. My day's made. Not thinking I'm going to get a stick from somebody to have people sign. So all of a sudden, some of the guys come in and somebody ended up having a pen or something. So they were trying to sign a stick with a pen. One of the guys that had already come out and signed it, Rob Scuderi, he goes back in the change room, and I guess Sid must have been like, "Oh, hey, this kid out there that has my stick, he left a Sharpie in my car, or I kept the Sharpie." So Scuderi comes walking back out with it and goes, "Oh, here, this might make it a little bit easier to have everybody sign it." So I have a Sidney Crosby stick signed by probably 65-70% of the 2009 team that won the cup.
Yeah, you definitely do. That's a verifiable tale. I kind of have a few memories from that day too that really popped out to me. Just one was just kind of Michelle Therrien, just kind of
just looking like he smelled like cigarettes and then actually smelling like cigarettes. Yeah. Oh, and alcohol.
Yeah, there was that. And he even kind of maybe a little bit of a Dead Man Walking vibe in kind of hindsight. I don't know if it was quite at that point yet, but I think maybe he was feeling the heat because he was pretty straightforward. And
he was not looking to stop and talk to some kids.
No, zero interest at that point. Ruslan Fedotenko looked like a monster.
Yes,
just a massive Ukrainian hunk.
And then did I fight the one guy that year? No, that was a couple years later whenever the one guy got in a sled.
Steve McIntyre.
Yeah.
My goodness. I completely forgot about Steve McIntyre. But how could I? Because the guy was literally right in my face at one point in time. It wasn't a real fight, but I
might as well get into it at this point. So, like I said,
before we get into Steve McIntyre, I just wanted to point out my last two highlights from 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Whitney and his green-ass Boston Celtics sweatpants. I was just like, wow, those are really green. Like everybody else is wearing a suit or something, or black or.
Whit was probably hungover as shit.
Oh yeah, kind of seeing the podcast play out and the Spit and Chicklets things play out.
It makes
kind
sense.
of funny, yeah. And in that note too, Paul Bissonnette was on that team as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he was chirping Gino, who was late to practice because he wasn't in that line while we were waiting in there. Gino comes, you can see him on the other side of the old Mellon Arena.
Already out there, and Gino's just kind of like, oh shit.
And then Biz goes, "Hey Gino, why aren't you dressed yet?" And Gino just with his corny smile.
Yeah.
With
the
bird.
I completely forgot about that, but yeah.
I think that is blazoned into my head, and which makes it really funny now that Biz is on TNT and everything.
I completely forgot about that.
I can't believe
I
it.
did.
I think about that every day, to be honest with you, at least once a day. Just see Gino's smile and just
I had the dopamine rush from
everything else.
From
Yeah, you had a pretty
Sidney
you had a lot
Crosby
of good
stick.
memories already at that point. Hard to keep some cheesier ones out. Well, that's what I'm here for.
And it's pretty fucking funny. But, so, back to the Steve McIntyre story.
Yeah, back to 2013. So we're jumping forward 4 years now to another Penguins practice at the new arena.
Yeah, so, like I said,
Whatever the hell it is now.
it's now PPG
Paint
Paints
can.
Arena.
Old
Exactly.
paint can.
So, some of the players would
Civic
come out
Arena.
after their practice and skate around with us on their skates and whatnot. Well, this one guy, he was just a call up from the minor leagues. He was just
He was the goon of
he was the goon
era.
of goons. If any of you have seen the movie Goon, that's basically
I'm pretty sure he might have inspired it just because, I mean, the guy's a monster.
he was like
And
6'7".
yeah.
So
And just a tank.
he was like, well, I think it'd be cool to try it out. So he we got him a sled, put him in a sled, and he's like skating around. And I'm probably 14 at this time, and
You're older than
an
14
avid.
at that time.
I don't think I was. I don't,
96, 2013,
I don't think.
17.
Oh, whatever. Anyways,
Math.
I'm like, well, I know this dude is the tough guy for the Penguins. I will see if he wants to, like, try to fight me. And so I go up to him and I go,
Yeah.
let's go. And I drop my gloves and everything. And he's, like, not really expecting it. So I grabbed him. He was wearing a hoodie. So I grabbed him by the collar of his hoodie. And then I just start throwing, like, shoulder shots at him. And then he's like, oh, okay, I guess this is, like, actually happening. So he just fucking bare knuckles to the top of my helmet. Like, not hard, obviously, because he's not trying to beat the shit out of a crippled kid.
No, but with those
But it
knuckles
was,
on
yeah,
that man.
Like I said, he was 6'7", so you can imagine the size of this dude's hands. Like a little Mack truck coming through.
Pow, pow.
And yeah, God, I couldn't imagine throwing
So somebody,
punches off of a helmet.
so somebody threw him after me in that practice too. I can't remember if it was you or Dan that set it up.
I think it was Dan, because I
Pretty sure it was Dan because it sounds like something Dan
Oh,
would
yeah,
do.
definitely.
Our guest last week, Dan McCoy. If you haven't heard the episode yet, I would highly suggest checking that out because that's a whole insight into kind of, just kind of how we talk.
So
And yeah, so I guess because I'm my past in the sled hockey world, I didn't take it easy on Kelsey DeClaudio one bit. She might have been like a teenager.
she might have been like 60 pounds.
maybe 60 pounds, but she was good and she fucking kept the puck better than anybody I've ever seen.
Still does.
Still does, because I would not take it easy on her
Exactly.
because I knew she was good and I wasn't letting that little bitch just bully me like that. So anyways, as you see, that's kind of where Dan decided, hey, we're going to send, hey, Steve, go up to Cody there. And
Start fucking with him.
just go up to him and I guess start fucking with him. I guess
Pretty
I don't
much.
know. I was
I
kind of
wasn't-
dicking around on my own. I was trying to avoid Joe Vitale because I almost took out his knee at one point in that practice because I wasn't paying attention. Anyways, like he sends him after me, and yeah, I'm just helping the kids out or whatever.
Right.
And then I turn around and like I kind of hear like some giggling and whatnot, and see Steve McIntyre like eye to eye with me, and he's like, he can't stop.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
already accelerated so much, but he cannot stop. And I'm just like,
In fairness,
ow.
you played for like 12 years and you couldn't stop either.
No, it's not easy to stop, especially when you got working legs.
Very true.
Yeah, give it a whirl, and you'll see what I mean.
You try to like use your legs almost to stop you because that's what you do in hockey.
Got to use my ass.
Yeah,
And,
right.
like,
You're
it
not
didn't
used
work.
to like throwing it around.
But yeah, so that big motherfucker was like right in my face, and that was the one of the top 3 hardest hits I've taken in my life. Taylor Chase,
Tyler
Karen, which knocked my head off a bit, and Steve McIntyre. So there's the definitive list right there.
You obviously, as well as I, are a big Phil Kessel fan, right?
Dude, I was a big Phil Kessel fan since he
Before
was
he
in
was-
Boston.
yeah.
Because he was just so good on like that NHL 2K game or whatever.
Right.
And then I would just like back in the day, it was awesome. They had the GM mode in that game. I was always getting Phil Kessel and winning cups. And I was like, that's all the Penguins need to do is get Phil Kessel and win cups.
And then they did.
And then they did.
But the reason I bring that up, I wasn't there. But at one of these Penguins practices, I guess Phil came out and like skated around with the guys on the ice and whatnot. I don't remember exactly what happened, but
I don't think I was at this practice.
No, you weren't. This was long after.
Phil would have been between 15 and 18.
Said, yeah, you were. I wasn't even there. This is what I've heard. I guess he like took out Mikey Hunchar.
Oh no!
Yeah, and even Dan was like, it was like the funniest thing because he like obviously didn't mean to do it, but like just took him out. I was like, oh damn! I wish I would have been there to see that.
All the people
just crashed into Mikey Hunchar.
This guy, this poor kid. I mean, he's younger than I don't know how old he is now anymore.
I couldn't tell you. And I've known him for years.
He's got a heart of gold, and like, his disability is a good bit for him.
He's got a cognitive disability.
Yeah,
but you wouldn't. I mean, the kid, like Cody said, the kid has a heart of gold, and
I love that kid so much.
Everybody
I coached
does.
him too.
As soon as you come in interaction with him, it's like, oh, this kid just makes your day every time you see him,
and he just bowls him over.
Yeah. Best part is they're both the nicest guys, and like I could just see it happening. Boom. And Phil with his Wisconsin accent.
How about that?
Man,
yeah,
you should have watched out there, eh?
I kind of wish there was footage of that.
Right.
I think I'd pay for that.
Oh, I definitely would pay for footage of that.
What an American hero that man is. 3-time Stanley Cup champion. 3-time Stanley Cup champion.
Good for Phil.
So there's some good stuff that could maybe go viral there. That'd be pretty cool. You know, Sid Tales seem to go viral.
Sid Tales always.
Phil Kessel Tales go viral.
This is true.
Yeah, look at that, man. Look at this. I'm liking. This is a good show. Yeah, I guess
nothing like pumping our own tires.
Yeah.
2 episodes in.
Oh yeah, man. I love it. Oh, I'm feeling in a good mood. I'm off tomorrow, and it's gonna be wonderful. And hanging out with the boys, it should be a good time again. But so also while we're in some good NHL athlete storytelling mood, we might as well just mention my quite possible favorite human being in the NHL today, Marc-Andre Fleury. At this point, because Flower. We go back, buddy. You remember me? It was 2009. That same practice with all the Sid Tales and everything else. I came up to you. I was dating my high school girlfriend at the time. And I said, and she was a big fan of Fleury because every girl at that point in high school was a big fan. I was still a big fan of Fleury. I say, Marc-Andre Fleury, my girlfriend loves you. And he says, how's that going to work? And I was too naive to even think of what he was trying to say. I wish I had something cooler. I wish I said.
I don't know that I heard this before. What did you respond with?
I had nothing really good. I was just kind of a nervous wreck. Like I was like, how do I even respond? I was like, okay, Mr. Fleury, thanks for your time.
So, Marc-Andre Fleury. Talk about a legend.
Yeah, so, and we got some pictures with them, and we got to shoot on them.
Yeah. And so I remember we did that shootout. I remember he came up. Did we do a shootout with him?
Yeah. That was that was the 13. That was the Steve McIntyre day.
Yeah. So I remember he goes like I was just kind of like sticking around center ice around our coach, and I overheard Marc-Andre comes up, skates up to him, and goes, "Hey, coach, I got to leave here soon. Can we do a shootout?" And now, for those that don't know, like that was like an end of practice tradition for the Penguins. Every practice they did, they ended it with a shootout. Well, not
that was Miles Mazzara. That was Miles Mazzara, the mustache boy.
And then they would end every practice with the shootout, and then every month or whatever, once a month, the person that lost had to be mustache boy. But he just loved doing shootouts so much that, like, he was like, no, I want to do this with you guys. And we only had
the
one
challenge.
Exactly. So, and like I said, anybody that knows or has seen the footage of them doing the shootouts, they know that he'll do he'll spin around as the guys are coming down. He'll do push-ups. So I go down to shoot on him one time, and he just drops down and starts fucking doing push-ups as I'm coming down on him to shoot. And I'm like, okay, cool, I can do this. And by the time I did that, he was just like, okay, I'll just kind of put my blocker out here. I was like, or no, I think he did like the scorpion save where he like kicked his leg back behind him and was like, no.
He's just toying with you.
Yeah, he was like, I'm just going to lay here basically. And then you still can't hit this open net.
Yep, because that's why he's a professional athlete. I hit post.
We had one guy score.
Yeah, Josh Wirtz scored.
Yeah.
I hit post. That might have been it. Did Dan score? We'll have to ask Dan next time he's on. He didn't score.
No.
I'll have to ask him that again anyway. I'll have to
exactly.
ask him again anyway. Confirm the details of that report.
No, definitely. Because I know Josh was the only one that scored. And I think Flower
I hit post.
Tried to come do the windmill save, drop his hand down. And I don't think he actually had it flush in his glove. I think it was kind of on edge from Josh. And then he tried to windmill it down and it wasn't in there like he thought, so he couldn't cup it.
The classic. And then
Flower it drops back in. Yeah.
That was right in the kind of right in those hiccup years, huh?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
We might have threw him off.
Yeah. Our shooting threw off a professional.
Yeah. Oh, all these little wheelchair kids.
I have to let them score.
I got the really big teeth. Sorry, Flower. We love you. We still love you.
He's the one making fun of all the athletes. I have not.
I saw in my Facebook memories a picture with Fleury whenever he went to Vegas, and I was all sad.
Mm-hmm.
I think I cried that day.
I'm sure I did, yeah.
Yeah. Not like a bunch, but at least a couple tears in each eyeball.
That was a very sad day.
It was a cold reality. It's the core's got to break up.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're heading towards these other darker days here for as far as hockey talk goes.
Yeah.
We're definitely on the downside in the
on the back nine.
Yeah, and hopefully we can have see the boys have a better year this year. I like how the top six played last year, but now you got to shake up. Most of it's going to stay the same. You're going to lose Jason Zucker probably in free agency. I wouldn't re-sign him.
No.
You got to revamp that bottom six entirely.
Yeah, you got to get rid of Mikael Granlund because, like you said, you can't really do anything with Jeff Carter, unfortunately.
Yeah. And your best bet is maybe a Michael Bunting type in free agency or maybe a Jake Gensel Wheelan deal. That might be your best bet.
Yeah. Like I said, it just kind of depends on where Kyle Dubas wants to go with it. If he sees that this team can go somewhere with just a little bit of retooling.
Yeah. But I think he knows, man. I think this town would go crazy if he could bring a cup here, and I still genuinely believe in my heart that with Kyle Dubas being hired, that a Stanley Cup within this Sid, Gino, Letang contract era is back on the table. But it's a task. It is a chore to see it.
So I was looking the other day at what Kyle Dubas was able to do with the Toronto within the first couple of years of him being there, and after looking at
in terms of building up the farm system, or
even just the current roster,
how we constructed it.
Yeah, just the current roster build. It came more. So the team there, he had a couple of older guys in Jason Spezza and Patrick Marleau. I think that's all you need. You only need a few older guys. You need your Sids, you need your Genos, and you need your Lieutenants.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't think you need any other older guys. You just kind of got to get these younger guys in here. But
and exactly, look what Toronto did. They brought in some of their younger guys. Robertson, not Brovo, but his brother Nick. They brought him up, played him. He was good.
It's tough to find room in that top six, though, to squeeze a player.
Exactly.
Maybe they targeted Nick Robertson or something like that.
Yeah.
Does that mean? I've this is making sense now because I mean I've heard a lot of like different like Toronto guy rumors, like Bunting and
Kyle Dubas definitely has his guys in Toronto that he liked, and I'm not saying bring all of the guys that you liked from Toronto, but I mean if they're going to suit the kind of game that Mike Sullivan wants to play, and
if they have the speed to try and play the game,
that's what I mean.
Sullivan wants to play.
They have that speed and that little bit of grit and that hunger that he always talks about. Then, I mean, I'm not going to be entirely against it. You know what I mean? But I think it also has to fit with the group and not just what Sullivan wants.
And that's That's a tough one to really
hard.
say.
People are like, "Oh, just go get this guy," and it's like. You can't just
that's what we're in
throw pieces together.
That's where we're at, man. We are in the field. Hey, go get this guy. Go get Connor Hellebuck.
I mean, you can't just like, I'm going to throw this pickle to a wall, hope it sticks, and see what happens.
Plus, you got 31 other teams that are also doing the exact same thing.
Right. So
everybody can't trade for the best player for all their bad players.
Yeah, this isn't forced trades on BAG.
It's a hard reality, Yinzers, but you could not trade all of your bad players for all of somebody's good players. I mean, we got lucky with Rickard Raquel. Well, we can't. He's a free agent.
No, I know.
Yeah. We can trade his rights to somebody, but I don't think anybody's going to really do that. But anyways, yeah, so...
You can't make another trade like Rob Scuderi for Trevor Daley, and then Trevor Daley plays an instrumental part in your back-to-back cup runs. It's just not going to happen like that anymore.
Which is hysterical, though. But like, it's funny. Like, we can't do those trades. Well, what about this trade that worked? Yeah, well, we got kind of lucky.
Yeah. That one.
Well,
trade
the guy Trevor Daley was not supposed
out.
To be good. Like he was a bum in Chicago at that point after having a very good couple seasons in Dallas.
Yeah, he was very good in Dallas.
Mm-hmm. So I did want to bring something else up and kind of pivot away from hockey talk here. So that was some good hockey talk, by the way. I love talking hockey.
Always.
That's going to be a lot of talking hockey. So if you like hockey talk, this is going to be it. But I kind of want to point out something that did kind of catch my attention, especially since we have a West Virginia graduate in the family.
Yeah.
The Huggy Bear situation. He gone. He gone bye-bye. He ain't going to coach no more.
No.
And he was too busy living life in the lavender haze with Tay-Tay and about 15 beers. And he was driving
0.23, I think I saw is what it was.
0.21, 0.23. Pretty impressive either way.
That's
a West Virginia.
You should be able to drink that much? Yes, that's impressive.
But driving, ooh, boy. Ooh.
That's the stupidest thing you could have done.
Yeah,
You're a millionaire. Just get an Uber.
Yeah, so that would be interesting because she just graduated.
Yeah, a month or two ago now?
Yeah, we were at the ceremony a month ago at the Coliseum.
Huggy Bear Land.
At the WVU Coliseum, and Bob Huggins never knew he was not going to coach a game again at that point. That was kind of wild. So
I wonder if she was. I wonder if she was at his last game. I have to find out.
Maybe.
It
wasn't a royalist send-off, that's for sure.
Yeah, right.
Unlike Coach K, who had like fucking 80 last games. God, I was so glad. I'm still waiting for him to come back and just haunt my dreams, dude. I don't even care about college basketball anymore, but just seeing his rat face on the sideline, it got me worked up, but it still does.
I can tell it still does.
Oh, yeah. But nah, he was good.
And UNC's not even all that good anymore.
Nobody really is. They're just they're just making money at this point, man.
Yeah, right.
Which, hey, maybe we can help your athlete do.
Hey, I'm all
because it's
helping people.
NIL training now, man. That's a big thing, and maybe we can figure out something about that path. I don't know what that's all about. I haven't looked into the bylaws. I just know that they can get paid, and they should. Yeah, the university rakes in
so much money off of these
buku bucks just to spend it on dumb stuff. So
you think about how much just one Division I college football team makes in a year.
Well, it depends on the program.
Well, that's what I mean. Like your high end,
your
Penn
Alabama
State,
is going to
Alabama, Ohio State.
Yeah, they're going to make a lot more than
I'm not talking. Yeah, I'm not talking like
Raging Cajuns or Slippery Rock. Slippery Rock, that football program don't make shit.
Right.
Literally, but those cost more.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, that's basketball talk, and we got into football during it. So R.I.P. and peace, Huggy Bear, to your career. Maybe he pulls a Rick Pitino and comes back.
I don't know that anybody's going to hire him.
That's what everybody said about Rick Pitino, who brought in like actual prostitutes to Louisville. Yeah. And they said no one's gonna hire him.
Was that
and
like
then
a full FBI investigation?
Yeah. And then he went to Iona, and now he's at St. John's again. And it's just like, how? Well, whatever. Like, yeah, he did his time, I guess.
Just don't bring in prostitutes, Rick.
Well,
can we do that?
Huggy Bear just needs to chill out with the Tay-Tay, because I can get it, man. Taylor Swift, you can kind of get in the emotions a bit. My girl, Ashley, she just, her playlist, Cry Your Heart Out.
I couldn't.
Cry Your Heart Out. And I bet Huggy had that playlist on while he was drunk and driving. That would make sense.
I wouldn't know. I don't listen to very much Taylor Swift, so
that's a shame. You should probably do a little bit more of that. Anyways, that's Tay-Tay talk. Well, that's the night market out here tonight. Got anything else you want to add for the rest of the show here, Nev? I mean, you got any wild plans? What'd you do for your training regimen this week? What you got lined up for next week?
The whole week.
Yeah, fuck it.
Damn. I wasn't expecting all of that at once. So yesterday,
like we said at the beginning of the show, we're holding you accountable.
Exactly.
So lay it out. Lay it out for us.
Yesterday and today, I pushed up here to the studio to record. Yesterday, I actually had pushed up to the courthouse for lunch, and then back down, and then back up to record. And
you did 10 miles yesterday in the failed in the lost files.
Yeah,
we'll call it the lost files. There we go.
Yeah, so just kind of pissing around, I guess. Yesterday, waiting to come up here and record, and it was like went and got 6-8 miles in on the trail, and then came back up into town, and then did basically the same thing today. Pushed up here.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that may not sound like a whole lot, but for anybody that knows how steep the hills are in Greensburg to get up into town from coming towards from Lynchfield.
Yeah, those hills, it's one of the hillier cities, possibly in the United States.
I don't know about that, but it's pretty, there's a lot of steep hills. I will say that.
I can't see the hills from out here, so
no, not where we are. But yeah, so I mean, I've been doing that about 2 or 3 days a week. Usually about 3 days a week. I like to, so I'll push up here, like I said, at least once a week. Now being that we're going to be recording, so once or twice a week I'll push up here to the studio, and then I usually try to push from Lynchfield down to about Youngwood and back. Maybe a little bit less than that, but that's probably a good 12 miles round trip. Maybe a little bit longer, but try to do that and then just do a bunch of weightlifting in between. So I'm going to be here in the next week or so. I'm going to be getting with last week's guest, Dan, my boy, and hopefully have him put a training regimen together for me. And that way I can get a little bit more structure because it's not entirely the best right now. But right now I'm not necessarily worried about having a whole lot of structure, you know what I mean? Because I'm still just kind of getting my body back into the aspects of training every single day, because it's been a couple of years at least since I've pushed myself for, this is about a month now. I've been active every day. So at least 2 years it's been since I've done that, and especially when you're pushing up hills and on the trail, you want to try to not kill your shoulders, because I also need my shoulders for sled hockey. So if I destroy my shoulders just trying to push, then
you got to get a nice balance in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Some nice rest days, all that good stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And Dan McCoy Fitness is a good place to kind of get that training regimen started, because that is a guy who has done it. He's done it. He's gotten the gold. He's brought it home to America, and he's on the Permanis wall, as we mentioned last week. So
yeah, so I mean, and anybody that wants to train with him as well, he's on Instagram, I believe, as well as I think he has a Twitter account.
Yep.
It's at Dan McCoy Fitness on both of those. Hit him up, see what he can do. I mean,
yeah, and
believe me, I know the kind of work that he's done and put in, and he's a very good personal trainer, and I'm excited to start working with him that aspect soon.
Hell yeah. So did kind of want to get a couple other things in here real quick before we end up calling it a day here, kind of getting ready for the rest of the weekend. I'm going to hit up Badge's Bar and Grill after this for some karaoke Thursday, probably. It's going to be a wild time there. Bobby Joe's going to be slinging some drinks. Trib's going to be DJing and putting the tunes on, and I'll be belting them out probably. So, because I'm off tomorrow, as I mentioned. So I'm, oh boy.
I will be going home and eating dinner and being in bed by probably 10:30.
Yeah, I will be responsible, and I will not listen to Tay and drive like Huggy. And, yeah, so, by the way, so Dan McCoy Fitness was on socials. Did you know we have socials now, too?
Yeah. I know we have a Twitter account.
That is basically if I were to DM the Twitter account, it would basically be you responding, correct?
Pretty much,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you're on there or not, but definitely I will be answering anybody.
So follow us there. Facebook, Instagram as well, at YinzCenter, as well as on Twitter. You can find the show YouTube, Spotify. Still working on a couple others, but a lot of these platforms are available. Apple Podcasts included.
Apple, Google,
and
are we on iHeart yet?
We are on iHeart.
Okay.
I believe Google was actually, ironically, the one we were struggling with.
Yeah, I think it was.
But we'll work on it. We're getting things fixed up. We're working on the beginnings of being professional podcasters, I guess.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yep, and don't forget, we still got that Kenny Ross Ford that got that biggest sale in history going on, the 60-year history that they've been up in Adamsburg, PA, up there, right next to the Irwin Turnpike exit. 60 years of history is Kenny Ross Ford, and this is going to be the biggest sale of that time frame. I was floored. Richard pulled me into his office and said that, and I was baffled. And I said, "All right, I'll say it, Richard. I'll tell the people."
Maybe it was meant to be. Maybe our recording that didn't record last night was
the Lost Files. Yeah, the Lost Files might have saved us after all.
Maybe you're gonna make some. Maybe you're gonna get some people in on buying some cars off of this.
I hope. 724-359-4501. At the very least, set up your appointment with me, and I'll make sure that you're situated with some of my very qualified sales professionals up in this building, up at my Kenny Ross Ford in Adamsburg. That number, again, of mine is 724-359-4501. Thanks again to our boy Jordan Hauser for letting us rock in the local studios here in Greensburg, PA.
Check out his podcast, like Cody said, the local 724 on Spotify.
He's got it all. He's got it all figured out.
He's got the audio. He's got the video.
Yeah. We're still working on things over here, but we're gonna get you some good content here in the future. We're gonna work on. I think we eventually maybe even getting some video going and all that good stuff. So. And as I mentioned, we're gonna talk some hockey and all sorts of other sports along the way. It just kind of depends on the season. It's kind of hard in summer, and well, thanks again for joining our show, and we hope you end up listening again. So,
thank you guys.
Thanks very much.
Week.
Lego pins.